As he sits there, he thinks to himself that jumping will put an end to all his problems and end his suffering, but he's not ready for this. Just then, a ping notification comes through on his phone. Well, that's the cue he needs as our boy quickly climbs back into the house as he comments that his phone can still receive messages at this, and decides to quickly check out the message. Opening his phone and going to the messaging app, he finds that it's a message from his mom, as she tells him that she has been worried about him and that a riot had broke out where she was. But now she's at a shelter and safe now. Our boy starts sobbing as he's glad that his mom is still alive and that he misses her. He decides that he needs to find her. 2 days later, our boy complains that he had tried to send his mom messages several times, but each time had failed, and the roads are blocked by zombies, so he's unable to go out. His toilet is clogged with poop now as there has been no water, so all he does now is poop in a plastic bag and throw it out the window. Our boy has his bag full as he has gathered all that he can. Through a firefighting manual that he came across, he was able to learn how to tie a knot. And with that, he makes a rope out of the bedsheets in his house that he can use to climb down out of his apartment. But due to limited stocks, the rope he made wasn't very long. And with that, he breaks his window as he decides to go to his neighbor's house who had committed suicide last night to get their bedsheets to make his rope. Placing a ladder between both balconies, he steps on it gently as he finds it to be unstable. And with that, he moves slowly across while complaining that the height is too high and urges himself not to look that as he's almost at the other side. Bearing too much weight, the ladder bends and our boy quickly reaches out and grabs hold of his neighbor's balcony. Just then he sees the wife of his neighbor who had committed suicidal come out and look at him through a window. Wong calls out to her, telling her to save him. The woman ignores him and turns to leave while our boy shouts out to her, telling her not to leave. With great difficulty, he was finally able to pull himself in through the window as he comments that he has to rely on himself. With that, he quickly starts to run to the door to check if he can escape using the apartment. But on getting to the door and looking through the peephole, he's shocked to find that the zombies in the apartment are even more many than in his own. He searches around and was able to find all the bedsheets that he could. And with that, he goes back to his apartment and quickly turns them into a rope. He throws out the makeshift rope out the northern window as he comments that this side had been used for illegal constructions and gardening, so the zombies here are lesser than on the southern side. After doing all that, he decides to go back to his neighbor's apartment to look for more useful stuffs, hopefully some food. Just then we see him rummaging through his neighbor's wardrobes and cabinets. And he even found a lot of boxes of condoms that he took as they would come in handy later, hauling 2 full bags of items. Our boy is happy as he walks back towards his apartment. Just as he's climbing the ladder while sweating, he begins to perceive the smell of gas and wonders who had forgotten to turn off their gas valves. On getting to his apartment, he turns to the window where the man had jumped yesterday and shouts to the woman, telling her that her gas valve is open. The woman comes out to the window and looks at him. Immediately she pulls out a lighter and starts striking it. This action gives our boy a fright as he immediately backs up to a wall while commenting that she's going to blow herself up. As the fire immediately lights up on the lighter, instantly a huge explosion occurs that destroys that apartment building. Our boy is seen on the ground covering his head as he immediately gets up and starts running, deciding to get out of there. 5 minutes later, we see him climbing out the window using the rope that he had made and wonders if the pipes have been blown up as the smell from the gas is getting thicker and more worse now. Moving down slowly, he comments that he has been very lucky to have prepared in advance as only God knows what would have happened to him now. Just then his slow descent is cut short as another explosion occurs, burning off the other end of the rope in his apartment. And on losing leverage, our boy starts falling, plummeting to the ground as he starts crying with snots coming out of his nose. With a great deal amount of luck, his makeshift spear gets stuck to the railing of an apartment building. And with that, he was able to break the speed of his descent, which reduced the damage done as he falls on a security post before bouncing off onto a tree and falling to the ground. He starts coughing due to the air that got stuck in his lungs and comments that he's not dead after all, and it seems to be that he's been blessed. And just then, he hears a growling sounds from under him. On turning to look, he's shocked as he finds himself lying on a zombie. It turns out that falling on the zombie is what had helped him reduce the damage after all. Our boy quickly gets up and takes off running, intending to bolt out of there immediately. As he's running, the bedsheet rope still tied around him immediately tugs him, pulling him back. It turns out that the rope had entangled the zombie during the time both of them had crashed. Our boy covers his face as he shouts that he's dead meat. Some seconds pass with nothing happening, and then he drops his hand to take a look and finds that the zombie is looking the other way on the ground and not paying attention to him. Surprised by this, he goes closer to take a look and finds that the neck has been twisted beyond shape. It seems that he had crushed it when he had fallen on the zombie just now. He starts to look for his knife to cut the rope, when he suddenly hears someone screaming from across the street. Turning to look, he sees a man being chased by zombies fall to the ground due to twisting his ankle. The man screams for the zombies to let him go and that they shouldn't come near him as he tries to back away while crawling backwards. The zombies pay no heed to his cries as they quickly crowd him and starts devouring him, quickly tearing him apart. Our boy hides behind a wall and covers his mouth while silently telling the man sorry that he's unable to save him. He decides to quickly make a run for it but finds out that his legs have become numb. Forcing himself up and enduring, he quickly gets up and starts limping away. As he crosses a street with zombies on the other end, our boy decides to make a run for it as the zombies haven't noticed him. With that, he performs a roll into an alley but immediately comes face to face with a zombie, almost kissing it. Our boy lets out a shriek, screaming what the fuck, and starts running as the zombie jumps forward to catch him. With that, our boy starts to run and finds that all the zombies are unto him. He complains inwardly on why there are zombies everywhere. A few minutes later, our boy discovers a fact that the zombies are not as fast as him. And with that, he was able to shake them off. He gets to the end of a street and stops, wondering where that place is. Intending not to be caught off guard, he decides to peep around the corner first and silently prays that there are no zombies hiding around again. As he finally looks out, he finds the place to be the food market. The place stinks so bad, but luckily there are no zombies to be seen around. As he walks forward, he thinks to himself that there's so much blood all over the place, and it seems like the vegetables and meat have all gone bad. He sees a knife and immediately walks towards it while commenting that it looks like the legendary butcher's knife. He says that it's perfect timing as he had just lost his kitchen knife, and with that, he strikes a pose with the knife on his shoulder as he comments that it seems like luck is on his side. Just then he sees a sight that scares him shitless as just ahead of him, there's a mass of bodies. Our boy screams internally asking, "Are you kidding me?" as before him are many zombies who happen to be the traders and buyers in the market during the outbreak. One of the zombies turns to look back on hearing a sound, but quickly our boy dodges and goes under a wall, hiding from the sight of the zombie. Our boy is relieved as the zombies didn't see him and wonders what they are doing crowding around the bathroom. With zombies being where he came from, our boy decides to keep going forward and to crawl from now on. Just then we see a dog running towards him. As the dog gets close, it jumps up with its mouth opened and intending to bite our boy. But just then, the collar on the neck of the dog is connected to a chain, and on getting to the full length, the dog gets yanked back by the force. Our boy falls to the ground in shock and quickly rolls away. Having failed to attack, the dog starts to bark at Wong. The noise coming from there quickly attracts the zombies, and they all turn towards where the noise is coming from and starts running to that position. Our boy gets up and starts running for his life as he screams while asking why there's a watchdog there. He runs and calls the dog useless, wondering why the zombies haven't eaten it yet. Over at the dog, we see it get surrounded by a group of zombies as it backs away and growl fearfully. The zombies quickly pounce on it and starts devouring it, with its painful whines echoing in the air. As our boy keeps running through alleys, he sees a wall up ahead, and on discovering that there's a turn, comments to himself that it doesn't matter if there's a zombie around the corner and decides to sprint up. Just after turning around the corner, hears the zombies behind him crashing into the wall. He turns to look back and comments that the zombies can't make turns. With that running, he comes out at the back of the gated community and sees the fence ahead, but finds it to be a dead end as the walls are too tall. He quickly runs to the back door of one of the apartment buildings there and starts banging on the door, calling for the people inside to open the door quickly and save him. He turns to look back and sees that the zombies are hot on his tail, with so many of them running towards him. He says that he doesn't think he can escape anymore as there are no more escape routes this time around. With that, he puts the butcher knife to his neck as he thinks that it's better to kill himself than to be eaten. And he could die from that more quickly too. After some seconds, he holds his head as he screams that he cannot bring himself to do it, and shouts for someone to save him. Just then the door opens behind him, and a hand reaches out to grab his backpack, pulling him into the house. Just as he got dragged into the house, we see an elderly lady trying to close the door, and our boy gets thrown to the ground behind by someone. The woman, being old already, was unable to forcefully close the door as a zombie's hand has just pushed through. Just then we see an elderly man uses his body to ram the door shut, thereby pushing the zombies back into falling. Outside of the door, we see the zombies on the ground, with more running towards the door and one of the zombies only wearing panties. Makes one wonder what he had been doing before the outbreak. Inside of the house, we see the elderly couple looking at the door anxiously as the zombies kept banging on it. Our boy is shocked as he recognizes the couple. The man tells him to come with them to the second floor as it will be safer there. 10 minutes later in the second floor, the elderly couple introduces themselves to Wong, telling him that their last name is Yi, and our boy thanks them greatly for having saved him. The man tells him that they also have a son, but he has gone out to scavenge for supplies. The man sees a scratch on our boy's hand and asks him if he was injured. Our boy looks at it and tells the couple that he had used a magazine to cover his arm but had no idea when it had come off. The woman tells him that she'll go get some alcohol to clean it, but our boy tells them not to worry as he looks at the scratch. The woman comes out with some first aid and tells him that she is a field nurse as she starts to dress his wound. She tells him that they have medical supplies and a lot of other items. Our boy takes a look and is shocked to see that they have stocked up a lot of drinkable water. And even the toilet is wrapped with plastic bag that can be disposable when full, due to no water supply. Our boy wonders to himself why he hadn't thought about such an idea. Over on the shelves he sees a lot of military rations and water and asks the couple if those weren't military items, to which they reply that their son is also in the army. Our boy comments that they're so well stocked that they wouldn't have to worry even if a war breaks out. They tell him that it was a safety precaution, and just then the stomach of Wong starts to growl, making him embarrassed. The man tells him that he must be hungry as they have been talking all these while. Wong sheepishly replies that he's not, as his stomach is just being rowdy. Mrs. Lee goes into the house and gets our boy some steamed bun and pickles. In no time Wong starts eating ravenously like a wolf that hasn't eaten for days, as he comments that both food go well together. From the other room we see someone wearing military clothing coming towards the three, while telling his mom and dad that he's back. Some time passes and we see the young man who had just arrived, telling his parents no, that Wong has to go as they don't have enough food to share with him. Mr. Lee replies that Wong could be of help in scavenging for more supplies, to which their son asks them to take a good look at Wong and see if he's someone who's able to help scavenge for supplies. Our boy tells them not to quarrel, that he's had his fill and rested well enough, so it's time for him to start going. But just as he bends to pick up his bag, he starts to regret why he had said that, as it'll be getting dark soon and he has nowhere else to go. He wonders if he should beg them to stay. Just as he starts walking to the door, he hears the son call out to him, telling him to wait, that it'll be night soon, so he can stay there and spend the night, but should leave the next day. Our boy quickly runs up to him and holds his hands while thanking him. Some time passes and we see the group having just finished their meal. Mrs. Lee tells Wong sorry for not having prepared a much better meal, but our boy replies, telling her that it's okay as the food was really tasty. He asks to do the dishes, but Mrs. Lee refuses as he wouldn't know where to keep them. Just then, Mrs. Lee starts handing out a pill and gives one to our boy, leaving him confused. He asks her what it was, to which she tells him that it's a vitamin pill. Mr. Lee tells him that if he's undernourished that it could cause some serious bad illnesses. Mrs. Lee adds that it's no longer easy to get fruits, vegetables, and meat, so they use the pills to substitute. Our boy's mood drops as he asks how much longer will the situation continue as it's getting out of hand already. Just then Mr. Lee's son interjects as he asks our boy what he meant by saying that the situation is getting out of hand. He tells everyone that the army's busy with resolving their own problem, and when they're done with that, they're going to sweep through the entire city in just under 40 minutes. And they might even resolve everything in the country within 2 days. Wang then asks him where they are as they're nowhere to be seen. Mr. Lee's son picks up his cup and tells Wang that a buddy of his who's active in the army told him that many of their soldiers got infected. So they're almost done clearing the infected out and are now assembling and awaiting orders. He takes a sip of his coffee and tells Wang that now even the reserve soldiers will have to enter active duty soon. So that means he'll soon be called upon, but luckily their families will be guaranteed safety. But someone who's unable to contribute is probably screwed. Our boy says that he's right, as all one could do is just to keep running, but if they run out of stamina, then they're as good as dead. Just then Mr. and Mrs. Lee come to them and tells them that they should rest up for the night, and tells our boy to sleep in their son's room. Below on the streets, the zombies become animated and stay fixed on a single spot without moving. Wang comments that it seems the zombies have quietened down, and Mr. Lee's son replies that when they don't see people, they wouldn't make any noise. Wang calls out to him, calling him Brother Lee, and asks him if what he had said early about the armies coming to their rescue was true, and how long it would take. Brother Lee stays quiet for a while, before telling him that he had been lying, all for the sake of his parents. Our boy gets agitated and asks him loudly that it was a lie. Brother Lee tells him to quieten down and not shout. He tells Wang that his active friend had told him that initially, they had everything under control, then all of a sudden a lot of the soldiers had turned into zombies. He says the army didn't take any action, despite being aware of the situation. But now he doesn't know much anymore because he had lost contact with his friend. He tells Wang that he needs to rely on himself if he wants to survive, and to be strong to be able to protect himself. He too had initially lost all hope, but had to keep living for the sake of his parents. Wang then tells him that tomorrow he'll be heading out for the sake of his mom. Brother Lee then tells him to look for some comrades as traveling alone is too dangerous and the loneliness could drive him insane, but advises him not to find a very large group, as the risk of infected could be high. Brother Lee also tells him that it's good to have a gun, as it can help in time of not being able to hold on anymore. And with that they both decide to sleep, but our boy thinks to himself that he doesn't think he can sleep anymore. Early morning in the following day, Brother Lee asks our boy if he has finished eating, to which Wang replies yes. And Brother Lee tells him that it's not that hot outside this early, so it's time for them to set out. With that, Mrs. Lee hands our boy some magazines and towels that he had requested for, while our boy thanks her gratefully. Brother Lee then asks him what he needs them for, and our boy tells him that he's going to wrap the magazine around his arm for protection, and use the towel underneath as cushion to avoid cuts. But Brother Lee tells him that he doesn't think it'll work. With that done, they both climb out of the window, with our boy complaining that it's too hot. Brother Lee replies saying that the early morning sun is so hot that it could cook someone alive, and tells Wang that they might just burn into a crisp. He tells Wang that they're going to have to use the fire escape routes in order to avoid alerting the zombies. Up on the railing, Brother Lee points towards the fence and tells Wang that some of the bars on the fence have wide gaps between them. He tells Wang that once they get down, he'll go and attract the zombies, and in the meantime, our boy should escape using the gaps. Our boy replies that he's got it. And just then, Brother Lee pulls out a military-grade knife, handing it to our boy, as he tells him that fighting for his life without a trusty knife is impossible. Wang takes the knife while thanking him. And with that done, Brother Lee quickly hooks the retractable ladder on the railings and tells Wang that it's his trump, as whenever he comes back, he always retracts it, that way the zombies won't be able to follow him. Brother Lee goes down the leader while telling our boy to wait, as he'll go draw the attention of the zombies first. He tells Wang to be fast, as he'll circle the yard and come back quickly. Just then we see him swinging his baseball bat at a car, breaking the windows, and the noise there attracts the zombies who start running after him. Our boy drops down, landing on his butt as he quickly scrambles to the fence. He throws his bag over the bars of the fence and starts to squeeze through. Just then a zombie reaches out and grabs a hold of his shirt, giving him a fright, as he starts to shout for the zombie to let go of his clothes. In no time, the hordes that Brother Lee had led away quickly return. Our boy starts to run before seeing a bicycle. He runs towards it and tried to take it, but turns out it was locked with a key. He kicks the bike in anger, and quickly starts to run again as we see a zombie gaining on him. Quickly getting to the street filled with cars, our boy remembers what Brother Lee had told him about the zombies lacking coordination. So he decides to squeeze around the cars or go under them. Wong hides under a car as a zombie walks past him, just standing in front of him as he starts to pray for God to watch over him. Just then, the zombie falls to the ground and starts reaching towards him, which scares him as he crawls out and starts running again. The chase lasts from morning till even as we see our boy run into a construction site and stops in front of a crane, wondering where he was. Quickly resting for a little bit, he turns back to look and sees a crowd of zombies running towards him, probably numbering thousands. With nowhere else to go, he quickly starts climbing the cranes. The zombies get under the crane and start stretching their hands towards him, unable to climb up. Our boy asks himself why he had come there as it is too high, but luckily there were no zombies on the cranes. As he turns to look around from his vantage point, he sees his office building not far away. He comments that he was in such a hurry that he hadn't looked at where he was going, but unconsciously followed the road he had been familiar with it. Our boy almost falls, as the crane starts to shake. Griping a metal and looking under, he sees that the zombies have piled upon themselves, mimicking a scene from the movie World War Z. Unable to bear the weight anymore, the crane starts to tilt, eventually falling towards the building where Wong works. As it crashes on the building, our boy jumps off onto the rooftop before rolling due to the inertia. Lying still for some seconds with a bruised body, he comments that it feels like he's dying. He gets up and looks at himself, checking to see if he's okay. Just then he notices that he had bit his mouth so hard that it split apart. Just then a voice from behind tells him not to move, that he's holding a gun. Wong quickly puts up his hands, telling the person behind to be merciful. The person asks Wong who he was, and Wong tells him his name and occupation. He tells him that he had been on the run before finding himself there. The man asks if he was bitten, to which Wong replies no, saying that his injuries were all from his fall just now. The man then asks him if he has water, and Wong replies yes. Quickly the man takes the water and starts drinking. Our boy relaxes, putting his hands down, and turns back to look at the person. The man turned out to be a wounded SWAT officer who tells him that his name is Yusun, from the Zhongshan Brigade of the Binhai SWAT team. Wong is shocked to hear that, and asks if Yusun was there to save him. Yusun tells him no, that he had been on a mission to escort some government officials. But there was an accident when the helicopter was taking off, he had fallen out of it. Wong then asks him about the people who were with him in the aircraft. Yusun points to a building and we see the tail of an helicopter inside the walls of the building with fire and smoke coming out of it. Yusun tells him that the people are in the building, but they are all dead, making Wong feel sad. Wong excitedly asks the officer that as he's stuck here, then there's definitely someone coming to rescue him. To which Yusun tells him not really and explains that they don't have the manpower and resources to conduct a rescue for him, and besides, he has been there for 2 days. In the evening time, the clouds got darker with heavy rain pour imminent. Wong tells Yusun that there's going to be heavy rain, so they need to go inside to avoid the rain as they can't stay on the roof. Officer Yusun gets up limping and tells Wong to support him, that he had twisted his ankle when he had fallen off from the helicopter. And with that, the both of them began to descend the stairs until they got to a passage. Yusun tells Wong to go check out the corners for danger as he can't move around very well. Wong says okay and quickly moves towards it. Just as he brings his head out, he sees a baseball bat swinging towards his eyes. In the nick of time, Officer Yusun was able to pull him back in time to avoid the hit. Over at the end of the strike, we see a security guard swinging the bat again at Wong. But Yusun was able to react quickly and blocked the blow with his stick, as he tells the security guard that they're humans. The man stops. He and the other people with him in the room were shocked with different reactions on seeing them, with some filled with happiness on seeing the police, and others shocked that humans had come that far to them on their own. Among the crowd, Wong recognizes a colleague's son, Dashing, as they both greet each other. Some time passes and the group tells Wang and Yusun that they had felt like living in hell, as they are the only ones who survived and got stuck there. They tell Wang that luckily they have enough water, but are low on food. One of the female in the group says that at first, they have been unable to make calls probably because the lines were busy. The man wearing a red shirt adds that later the line was reconnected, and calls started to go through. But the calls were unanswered and in some cases the phones were switched off. The first girl then asks Yusun that she thought they were there to save them. A scared lady at the sides comments that humans are going to go extinct. But the security guard who had attacked Wang consoles her, telling her that humans are strong, so they won't go extinct. Wang then tells him that that had been what the dinosaurs thought too back then. The security guard turns to Wang and tells him not to be afraid, that although he's only 30 years old, that he's seen a once-in-a-century flood, and a once-in-a-thousand-year solar eclipse, so he has basically seen everything. The girl with red hair then asks what the monsters outside were, if they were zombies. The security guard replies no, that they weren't, but Wang says that they are and explains that when the virus enters the body, the immune system blocks and kills the infected cells, resulting in a large amount of necrotic tissue in the body. And in order to repair the damage and restore normal functions, the patient needs a lot of food to provide energy. And that is why the patients have large appetite and are aggressive. He adds that the virus isn't transmitted through water or air, but infection only occurs through direct contact with bodily fluids like blood. This revelation shocks the people around, and the security guard asks him how he had known all these. Wang says he had known through Resident Evil, as he had played every version of the game. Yusun interjects and tells the group that they can't stay there for too long without food. Someone then asks him where could be safe, and Yusun replies that he heard from his superiors that there are more survivors in the northwest region. The security guard then says that if they're leaving, then they should go to the capital. But Wang tells them no, that they shouldn't go to Beijing as the population density is too high. He tells them that there are fewer people in his hometown, so their survival chances will also be high. Just then the security guard grabs him by the neck and screams, asking who's his boss, and tells Wang to stop interrupting him when he's speaking, and asks why they should listen to him. Sun Dashing tells the security guard to take it and asks if he wants to choke Wang to death. But the man shouts at Sun Dashing and tells him to shut up, that he'll kick the ass of anyone who speaks up for Wang. Yusun quickly tackles him as he was distracted and choke him, bringing him to the ground, and tells him that Wang is with him. He looks at Wang and tells Wang that his chance is here, so he should hit the security guard. Wang tells him to forget it, as he's a person with a big heart. But Yusun tells him that he's just open-minded. Wang grins and tells him that that's all everyone's supposed to be, open-minded and tolerant. But Yusun tells him that it just means that he's stupid. The group gather around to discuss their next step, and we see the security guard handcuffed to a bar behind them, while shouting towards Yusun, asking him why he was handcuffing him just because he's a cop. He's ignored as Yusun tells the group that they'll leave tomorrow morning, but they should go to the closed areas first to rest for the night, which the group agreed to, saying okay. It started raining heavily at night, and we see Wang walking towards Sun Dashing, and tells him that he had noticed that his phone still has some battery, and asks if he could borrow it. Sun tells him okay, and gives him the phone. Holding the phone, Wang slaps his head as he had wanted to call his mom, but couldn't remember her phone number. Passing the phone back to Sun, he asks him that he had bought an iPhone 6 online, and why was he still using the old phone. Sun replies that the battery lasts longer, and besides, the iPhone 6 had been for his mom, as she had been using a Nokia with a black and white screen. Just as the price of the iPhone 6 had reduced, due to the iPhone 7 coming out, he quickly took the opportunity and bought his mom one. He tells Wang that because he hadn't wanted his mom to worry about the price, he had told her that it was a knockoff product of 800 yuan. But his mom had gone to sell the phone for 1,500 yuan, and she was so happy that she had earned 700 in profit. They both started laughing as Wang comments that he had definitely lost a lot of money, and Sun replies yes, that he had been so mad that he started laughing. Gradually their laughter faded, and the scene became solemn before Sun started crying and told Wang that he had been calling his mom, but she had not been picking her calls.